Okay guys, so today is a special video where we're gonna review a client session. It's okay for me to publish the video. He just want to be anonymized. So his name will be blurred during the whole session. Okay, let's go. First thing I can see is that so he's playing some 5 NL with only 40 euros of bankroll. So the buy-in is not correct for the actual buy-in. So I would recommend to play 2NL first before going to 5NL, where I would recommend to have around 200 euros, something like that, so to start playing in 5NL. I also see that he will enter the table with only 4 euros, so I think he will not be max buy-in at the table. It's very, very important to always be max, so you will be able to win maximum amount. If you if you have only 80 big blinds, you will only be able to win 160 big blind. So the goal is to be always at the minimum of 100 big blind, so you will be able to win 200. Okay, so here he folded on big blind with 7-8 suited. I would recommend call. Jack 9 suited. Here we can fold. I like to also free bet. Okay, so here he took the right decision. He decided to free bet, which is really great. The problem here is the amount of the free bet. What we usually do is that we free bet 4 times the initial bet if we are out of position. So here we are in small blind, so we will be the first player to play plus flop, so we are out of position. So out of position here, I would have free bet minimum 40 cents and maybe a little bit more, so around 50 cents. So here the amount is ridiculous because the idea of the free bet is that your opponent fold very often. Okay, here in that situation, your opponent will never fold. He just has he has to add 5 cents to complete the bet and to be able to see some card on the flop. So the amount is ridiculous. He needs a really small equity to call here. And in reality, you will call it any. So now you're out of position. It will be very complex for you to play that hand because your free bet was too small. You need to increase your free bet size. So here I like to check. Please don't bluff in multi-way pot like that. Okay, check. The fold is correct. Nice. Okay, you see, he entered the table with 4 euros. He has now 3.80 euros, which is not good. You need to be always max buy-in. So the max buy-in here would be 5 euros. Okay, here we can open, we can fold. Ace is good. Okay, we unfolded. 8-4, yeah, that's a fold. 2-5, we fold. Ace 10. Okay, so here you folded ace 10. That's a big mistake, especially at your position. You need to be careful because you're not under the gun because you're not 6 at the table. You're only 4, so you're at the cutoff here. And ace 10. That's a combination we will open. Okay, so you click passar. I think if small blind open, I would call that hand. Let's check on GTO Wizard. So here you can see if some small blind open in big blind. Yeah, we are supposed to call most of the time 8-9 off. So you need to work on your range. So you're not making mistake. It is the first decision you take at poker is a pre-flop decision. So it needs to be very, very clear in your mind. Okay, we fold. Sure. I like the fact that you take time to bet. It's good. It can induce some opponent reaction. Okay, here you're in multi-way pot, so as I said before, I don't like to bluff. So if no one does bet, I would check. In that situation, you fold for sure. Good job. Queen six, yeah, we can skip. 9-7, but then we could open. I see that you're playing very, very fast pre-flop. Uh, uh, so yeah, please take your time pre-flop. Work on your range, and don't use fast decision button. Because even if someone limp and you check that button, you will automatically check. So you already tell your opponent that you have a bad hand. Okay, ace jack, that's a hand we're gonna open or free bets. Nice. Queen, we will open. Okay, here we got 4 bets. So with that hand, it's obviously a call, and we can sometimes 4 bet here. I like to 4 bet because first I think that people fold a lot to 4 bet in this limit, and also because we need to have some 4 bet in our range. Because if we 4 bet only aces or kings, we are very face up. So here I prefer to 4 bet. Okay, need to call. Yeah, you have a really good hand. I like the check because your opponent is the initial aggressor. So you want to check and leave him bet, let him see bet. And here we have obviously a call because if we don't call on that flop, it means that we literally fold everything except set or kings or aces. So we need to call on the flop. Okay, folding here is big mistake because I said if you fold queens here, you will fold everything. Um, so yeah, it's not possible here to fold queens. Okay, aces. So here we have a limper. So we like to isolate ourselves against this guy because this guy are the recreative player and the money will come from this player. So here we want to isolate. When we isolate, usually we put a minimum of 5 big blind, and it can be higher. It can be higher if the opponent is really bad, and we'll call any bet. So here better to bet, as I said, 25 cents. Okay, you can fold here. It's a fold. Okay, 10 cx we can fold. Okay, a10 button. Okay, I confirm that at the button a10 off is an open. Okay, here let's see what you do. Nice. It's really important here to continuation bet because we have a range advantage. We have one overcard. We have some straight draw with a 10, and there is many cards on the turn that we will be able to bet. So I really like the c bet here. We got call. Okay, I like the second barrel on the turn. It depends of your opponents, and the bet river is great. Yeah, perfect hands. The sizing might be different, but the fact that you decided to multi-barrel is a good decision. Okay. So king 7, if everyone fold here, that's an open against the big blind. So you fold it too fast. Okay, that's funny because here you decided to open ace 10. It's the exact same situation as the end at the beginning of the session where you were cut off with ace 10. But here you took the right decision. Okay, a jack, we're gonna free bet if there is an open. Okay, we have two limper, so here we will free bet. It's more, it's not a free bet, it's an isolation. And when there is two player like that, I like to bet very expensive, uh, like 6, 7, 8 big blinds. Yeah, the price you offer is very cheap. They just need to add 10 cents in a pot that will be around 45 cents. So that's you give them a really good opportunity to really realize their equity. Okay, good flop here. You need to bet. Yeah, perfect. You need to bet because you value a lot of hands, and they will call many diamond here. So that's perfect. Half pot is great. I would also bet. I like to bet 1/3 on this kind of flop, but half pot is okay. Okay, what will do our opponents? And it's a fold. Nice job. Okay, what you're gonna do here? Okay, here I really like the free bets. Uh, it's a hand we have good blockers. We block some ace king, some ace jack, some king, some jack from our opponent. I like it because it's offsuit, um, and I like the fact that you used the right free bet size. So here we are in position because we are at the button. So you decided to free bet 3 times this bet. So that's perfect. In reality, this I would not free bet all the time this hand at the button. Um, because even if you block good ends from your opponent, he might call some ends that destroy our hand, especially king queen, queen jack, ace jack, ace king, this kind of end. But this is the behavior I want to see at table, being aggressive like that. A statistic you could have on your opponent here is to have a statistic to fold to free bet, which is very important. And you will see that some opponents have important leaks on free bet fold, uh, and it's a good way to take value from it. Okay, ace nine suited. You're gonna open that hand. Okay, we fold. Okay, king four suited. That might be an open at the cutoff. As you can see here at the cutoff, we open king four suited. So please make this exercise. Review your hands and use this kind of tool to check if your open range are correct. Okay, I had some issue when recording, so I recording again the next 10 minutes of the session. Okay, so here you have Jack 10 off, open, good job. It's going in small blind. Here we really like to have a high frequency of bets. Yeah, good job. It's a fold. You checked because the under again just hit. Check, fold. That's perfect. Ace three suited. So that's a really good open. So here we like to have a high frequency of c-bets against the big blind. He has a really wild range. We have one overcard here. We have some flush backdoor. We have a straight with a 2. So I like to bet here. When you check here, you are in a very difficult situation because if your opponent bets, it will be complex for you to call. As played, you checked on the turn, you check back, okay. And here on the river, you decide to bet. That's very weird to bet here. When you bet, there is 2 reasons on the river. The first reason is that you decided to value. So if you value your hand, it's because you expect a worse hand to call from your opponents. And the second reason is because you're bluffing. So you expect a hand better than yours to call. Okay. So here, if you value your hand, it means that you think that some worst hand gonna call Worst hand here that gonna call are like some king eye and queen eye. I think he will never call this kind of hands. So yeah, value is not a good reason. And if you are bluffing, it means that you want better hand to fold. So some five, some sixes, sevens, eights, some tens. I really don't think that betting half pot will make this hand fold. So if you're bluffing here, bet way more expensive, like 2 times the pot probably. But as you can see, it's very difficult to justify. It's very difficult here to justify a value or a bluff because you here that's sad because you bluff with a pair of free. So when you can't justify one of these reasons, I really recommend to check. Okay, nice open. They all folded. It's a fold. Okay, so here you automatically check pass or check. This is not the good solution here. King 7, that's a hand we want to free bet if small blind open. I think you really need to work on the range on small blind, and you have to work on the range on the big blind. I will share with you something. So for example, here is the range of big blind when we have an open on the small blind. So as you can see that we have a lot of action to do with most of our range. We can separate that in free decision. So for sure we have some fold and we have a lot of call as you can see. We will call mainly hands that have good playability. So to have good playability, it needs to be suited, it needs to be connected. And as you can see, most of our suited hands will be called. We will decide to raise a important part of our range. As you can see, 17% of free bet. That's a lot. And for that, to do that, we will include some hands like good our good hands here, and you will include a lot of offsuit combination because he doesn't have a good playability, but it adds good blockers. So as you can see, some ace 2 to ace 7 you can free bet, king 5 to king 8, and you can see that your king 7 is a free bet most of the time. So please take time here to work on your big blind range, especially free bet range, and you will see that you can include a lot of hands. So that king 7 is not an automatic fold preflop. Okay, let's go back on the 8. We open. Fold. Okay, so here you need to call. I don't think it's a good solution because your hands, even if you're, it's good to call sometimes at the button because you're in position and because there is some recreative player in the big blind. Okay, here it doesn't seem that the player on in the blind are recreative, and your hands doesn't have good playability. So here for me, that's a clear fold with that hand. So automatically, so check the button, check or pass. You're telling your opponents you don't have a hand. So please don't use that button. This will allow your opponent to pressure on the turn and on the river. It will be very easy for him to win the hand, only because you pressed that button. You have a good turn, so for sure you're gonna call on the turn. Okay, and river he bets. Uh, so when he bets here, you have to, as before, you have to wonder why he's betting. Is he value betting or is he bluffing? In small limit, except good player, I always think that people are not bluffing. So here for me is value betting. So if he is value betting, what kind of hand he could value? So he could value an ace or a queen. Does he value a queen worse than yours? I don't think so, because he's not gonna open in cutoff some queen nine, queen eight, queen seven, things like that. Okay. So for me here I would fold, but as played on the flop, you showed him weakness because you automatically check on the flop. So he might sometimes bluff, but yeah, I would fold for this reason. And he had an ace. Okay, seven here. It's a clear call. We are in the big blind. Okay, the flop here is wonderful. So here, what we want to do is take maximum value. We don't want to hide the strength of our hand. We just want to value, value, and value. Here we're gonna check, and we want to check because our opponent is the pre-flop aggressor, and so we hope that he will see bets. Nice check. Okay, here he bets. So here, as we want to take maximum value, we really want to increase the size of the pot on the flop. This is exponential. It means that if the pot is small at the flop, it will be small at the turn and small at the river. What we want is really to increase the size of the pot directly on the flop. This will allows you to bet higher on the turn and to have at least a pot size bet on the river. So here we really want to bet. Uh, Here what we want is to target hands that we will take value from. So here we want to take value from aces, okay, and we will take value from flush draws, and that's it. Over hands he might have, like some pocket pairs or stuff, we will not be able to take maximum value, okay, flop, turn, and river. So here the idea is really to target flush draws and aces, and for that we will just bet very expensive. So here I really like to raise like 50 or 60 cents. I like to explain the rule of the 10%. If you bet 10% of your opponent's stack on the flop, you will be able, by betting like two-thirds on the turn, and have a pot size bet on the river. So yeah, here I'd like to bet like 50 cents minimum. So I will be able to bet turn and river very easily and take everything from him. That's the goal here. Okay, so just call. Now the flop, the pot is only 50 cents. It will be complex for you to take everything. And so here, this is something I don't recommend, is to prop bet or donk bet. This is really not the good solution here. Um, yeah, don't do that. This is an advanced move that might be used in higher limits, but in small limit, don't do that. Here you could have a check and let your opponent bet, because he will continue to bet his aces and his flushes that he has now on the turn, and you might check raise that turn. Okay, decided to call, and on the turn So as I said, the pot was very very small on the flop, and so now you're trying to extract some value, and as you can see, it's very difficult to take everything because you have 3.4 euros and the pot is only 1 euros. As played, I like that you take value on the river. Checking would have been a big mistake. And here, when you try to value, really ask yourself what kind of hand you're trying to value. Okay. Here, as I said on the flop, I'm targeting aces and flushes. Aces and flushes here can pay a lot of money. So I really like to bet more than the pot. And as played, you could also shove here on the river. Okay, only call, but unfortunately we don't have the result. Okay, okay, king 8 here. It's not an automatic fold. This is the end you want to open against the big blind. So please, yeah, work on your range on the small blind and on big blind. That's very very important. Okay, we have a limper. Okay, you automatically check. That's not the good idea. Here you really really want to isolate. So when you have, just keep in mind that someone that limps doesn't have a good end. Okay. So here he limped. So here I just want to raise and win preflop. If you win preflop, that's perfect. So here, yeah, isolate like uh, um, 6 big blind. I think it's nice. Yeah, please delete the use of that auto check button from your mind. Don't use it anymore. A7. Okay, guys, if you want to have the same kind of analysis for your gameplay, you can contact me directly on Fiverr. Here you can click on the search bar and search for Coach Poker. You will find me just over there. We can have some live coaching and also some session analysis like we are doing right now. So just click on that and contact me so we can discuss the best coaching for you guys. For now, the price is very, very low. The first hour of coaching is only 5 euros. That will allow me to have more review on my profile and to be more referenced. So please contact me, guys. A7 suited. So yeah, but and I like to call. As we said before, is suited. It has good playability, and we may want to free bet this and specifically sometimes. Okay, fold here the big fold. Okay, ace jack suited. So here we have a limper. That's a bad player. So you can isolate him. You can use more, like 25 cents is good. 5 big blind. So here you are in a bad situation. You represent a lot of strength, isolating that guy. When he decided to free bet here, you can have a look at his statistics. You can see that he is 13 9 and that he never free betted. So for now, he looks like that he has a neat statistics. So here, that's a fault for me, especially because you're out of position. So if you call here, you will be the first to talk on the flop. It will be very, very complex for you to play that hands. Okay, you decided to call. So here you have to keep in mind that he might have some really strong hand. Can have aces, kings, ace king, queens. So yeah, you're not the aggressor, so you check. Perfect. And we will let our opponent bet. Okay. So here the check, the call is perfect. Okay. But please, please take your time to check. Okay. Someone that has a really good, imagine here you have queens, you have a set of queen or six or three. Do you really think you would have call as fast? I don't think so. Be careful because people can analyze the time you take to play. Okay, nice check. Okay, when he bets here, you have to wonder, am I able to take to call? Okay, so what you can do is take a calculator and calculate the equity you need. Okay, so here you need to add 0.518 in a pot that so the amount currently is 2.9, so you will add 0.9 to it, so it will be around up 3.8. Okay, so here you need 25% equity to call. To win that hand here, I think an ace on the river will not make you win, so what you need here is an heart to make a flush. Okay, there is only 9 hearts left in the deck. Okay, what we do to define the equity linked to our outs, so we multiplied the number of outs by 2. So here we have 9 outs multiplied by 2, that's 18% equity. So with our n currently we have 18% equity, and we need to call 25% equity. So here we can't call here. This is even truer with when you are out of position like that, because even if you make a straight a flush on the river, you will not be able to take value from it. If there is a heart on the river and you decided to donk shove, your opponent will fold like 80% of the time. Okay, so you might call sometimes with a lower equity, but when you're in position and when you're sure that you will be able to take maximum value of it. Okay, here that's a clear fold. So here you call. This is a bad call because you will not win enough time. Here, call. Queens. Okay, free bet. So as I said, I like to four bet, but you can also call. Here the problem is that you're not max buy-in. You only have like 50 big blinds. Uh, this is a hand we could shove because of your stack. So here, same situation as before. At the beginning of the session, you had overpair like that with queens. Okay, when it checks here, he's not supposed to check. Okay, if we betted, so he's supposed to see bet a lot, a lot, a lot. When it doesn't do that, please bet. It's literally free money. Okay. So yeah, I would have bet. Okay, I like the size of your bet, so you will be able to shove on the turn with a pot size bet. So okay, the bet is okay, but you can bet more expensive if you were max buy-in. Okay, so here he folded. If we bet, he doesn't see bet. You pressure. It's easy money. Okay. Okay, 9-10 at the button. That's an open. Okay. Also something you're not doing that. Okay, you might call here with King 10. Something that you don't do that you should do is to add label to your opponents. Uh, you met the same opponent very often. You really need to take some note on them and to set up a label for them, like a specific color for the different type of opponents. You should have a color for regular player, for fish player, for neat player. So it will be easier for you to, at the first look, to know if the opponent is good or not. Okay, here I don't really like the call at the button. As I said, I like to call some hands sometimes at the button, but the only reason I would do that is because we have bad player in the blinds. Here it's not the case, so I wouldn't call, I would fold. Okay, interesting. I like that. Ooh, what's cool here is that you're protecting your hand, which is really great, and your hand needs protection, and you will make fold a lot of hands with good equity, especially over cards here. So yeah, I like the move. Very creative, like that. Okay, when he called on the flop, your raise, you can be like 80% sure that he has another pair here. So it will be very, very complex for you to make him fold. I like the bet on the turn. I think it's very ballsy because you will make folds the nines to the jacks. Uh, so yeah, but this hand is very interesting. I like the way you played it, and I like the fact that you are very aggressive. This is what will print money in cash game, being aggressive, aggressive. Okay, jacks. You got called by big blind. Here you have beautiful end. Yeah, half spot is great. But don't hesitate sometimes to increase your bet. Uh, I know that we are not supposed to change the size of your bet depending of our end, but especially at this limit, I think that you need to bet more expensive when you're value betting. So here I would have bet like 25 cents or pot directly. Okay, you folded 5-6 suited. Yeah, that's not a fold here. That's the hand we would like to open if everyone folded. 6-7 at the button. That's a beautiful hand to open. So that's not a fold. So here that's an open. Yeah, please work on your button and small blind range. It's very important. Because initially this is the position where you will lose money. Small blind because you automatically put half blind in the middle of the pot, and big blind because you automatically put one big blind with a hand you didn't choose. So you really need to work on this range so uh, you lose less money in this position. Okay, like Jack 8 we might want to open. This is the bottom of our range. Okay, sevens. Oh, here it's a hand I would free bet. I really recommend to have a strategy of free bet or fold at the small blind. It will be easier to play for you. So if you simulate here, for example, an open on the cutoff, and in small blind, you can see what G2 Wizard recommend to raise most of the time. If we do that for hijack, it will be the same. We have some more call, but I recommend to make a shortcut and only consider free bets. And same for small blind. Recommend to have only free bets. So yeah, work on your range on small blind, and you will see that most of your hand will be free betting. Jack 7 good. Oh, ace 10. Oh, maybe you don't like ace 10. Mm, okay. Okay, so you are the big blind. Everyone limped, so you auto check limp. Okay, why not? In any case, you will never win that hand. King 3 we fold. Queen deuce we fold also. King 8. Okay, you folded. Okay, ace 8 we can fold. Okay, here it's not auto fold as we said. Alright, it was very interesting session. I really thank you for sending me that session. I hope you learned something. Uh, yeah, and I hope that all the viewers enjoyed the video. As I said, you can contact me directly on Fiverr if you want some coaching. And I wish you great luck on the table. See you guys. Bye bye.